Hi and welcome. Thank you again for joining me on this video. Today I'm going to take a slightly different angle on wildflower photography. I have done a couple of videos in the past on flower photography and I'll drop the links in the description below and also put them in the end screen at the end of the video. So check those out afterwards. But what I'm going to do today is I'm on location in an old ruin, and this ruin is absolutely amazing. There's an old barn which is designed in the Moorish style, which you can see in the background, and an old threshing ring which I'm standing on right now, and the fields are absolutely stunning around here. There is also an old hotel. This used to be one of the main roads going up through the mountains. That is completely derelict. It's been derelict for absolutely years. It's just falling apart over time. So I'm going to go now. Let's scope out the area and we'll find our first compositions. And so in this first composition, what I really want to do is give context to the wildflowers. And that's really what this video is going to be about. Because I love shooting wildflowers, but I do believe that a lot of the time we miss the context. So I really want to capture them in the context of the ruins. Now the first one that I found is this thistle here, just in front of the, let me go down, there's some thistles just in front of the arches. So what I want to do with this, and this is where it's important to get the context, if I shut the aperture down completely, then actually I'm going to get the building in the background so blurred, it's going to be featureless. Now what I do, if I close the aperture down, increasing the F number, then what you can see is it starts to give context and detail to the building in the background, so we can just see the arches. So what I'm going to do is close it down a little bit further, and then this is my final composition. We've got the thistles in the foreground, but you've got the arches in the background, which give us composition detail. And this is something that when you're on location, you really need to consider. It's about adding context to your images, not just taking a picture of the subject itself. Adding context gives it a little bit of background and a little bit of a storyline. I love photographing wildflowers. There's no destruction. You can really capture them in their own element. But it's great to be able to capture them here where there's some ruins, rather than just a wildflower that actually could be kind of, I guess, in any wood or any field, any meadow. This is absolutely brilliant to be able to add context to the images. Please remember to hit that like and subscribe button as well as we go through this location. Your support for the channel is massively appreciated as we continue to grow, and I do hope that you're finding this inspirational. And remember to stick around until the end, where I'll put some links to some of my other videos that are related to this one. And I've found this composition. I've got these flowers here, but what we've got is great distance between those flowers and the ruined wall in the background, which was probably some kind of barn store or wheat store, I guess, something along those lines. A little bit breezy, so I just need to time the image so that it's right. But on this one, what I'm going to do is open up the aperture completely. What I want is the background to be blurry. You'll notice as well that I'm using my telephoto lens. This allows me to really stand back from the image, have distance between me and then distance between the background as well. That can be really important. A lot of people just by default will grab a macro lens or zoom right in. When adding context to an image, it's really vital to really identify what your background needs to be. And in this way, I'm going to be using various aspects of the ruins themselves. And what you can see in this image is that the detail in the flower is really picked out. What we've got is a great context of the ruined wall in the background. It's obviously a wall. It's a little bit blurry though, so it really draws the eye back to the flower to give us both the detail in the flower, but also the context that it's within the scope of a ruined wall. And in this image as well, what we've got these flowers against the wall of the ruin. The colour is lovely, the kind of terracotta orange is beautiful. We've got the purple flowers. So what we've got it's blowing though. I've got to time it when the wind doesn't blow. I've got to pre-focus, wait till the wind doesn't blow, make sure that it's static when taking the image, because it is blowing quite a lot, as you can probably see in this image. And because of that wind, what I'm going to do is wait for it to settle. I've got it on quite a fast shutter speed, about 1/640th, because I can really pin it down. But what this will give me is the flowers in context, plus the wall. So we're actually right up against the wall and we'll get a lovely shadow on the wall, bringing, again, focus and detail to the three-dimensionality of the flower with the wall. Sorry, I keep looking down. I'm being bitten to death by various insects here. But it demonstrates the need to have a good background to your flower. I love it when people have high contrast, high key or low key images of flowers, but actually my own personal preference is that I prefer it when it's in context and it has a background. So hopefully that makes sense, and that's something that you can try when on location too. Right, time to change lens to the 10-18 wide angle. And the reason I've changed lens is for this scene. Just let me spin you around very quickly. Look at all this barley, the old barley or wheat. I'm not an agricultural expert, but then we've got the old ancient Moorish barn rising up above it. So we've got some great layers. So what the layers that we've got the barley here. I'm going to take a couple here, by the way. We've got the barley in the foreground. We've then got the red of the old Moorish barn, and then we've got the sky, absolutely beautiful blue. So I'm going to take a couple here. I'm going to take one with some foreground movement in the actual barley itself, and then I'm going to do one where it freezes it with a much more open aperture, so f4.5 probably, right down at the bottom of the lens capability, to really get the context of the detail here. And this is the first image. Absolutely love this image with the barley in the foreground, the red, the colours, the yellow, red and blue. Absolutely stunning. This one I froze the action. Now let's slow that shutter speed down and see if it works. And what I'm doing to capture the movement is to increase my shutter speed. So probably between half a second to a second will really get it, because the wind is blowing across the top of the barley. I've actually applied an ND64 filter. And these are wild crops. They used to be farmed here, but the wildfire came through here a few years ago, well, probably 2 now. And everything is growing back. The wild meadows are absolutely stunning. It's absolutely beautiful to see. So I'm just going to go into portrait or vertical mode, because there's some lovely little purple flowers. Here are our flowers in the foreground. We've got some nice yellows, some beautiful purples, and then we've got the yellow of the crops going up into the red of the building and the blue of the sky. Capturing the colours in the foreground, going away into the distance through the barley up to the building to really give the context to the flowers. And here's another composition that I'm going to capture. It's got the poppies in the foreground. Who doesn't love a good poppy? It really makes the colours pop with the red of the building in the background and the blue of the sky and just the wispy clouds up in the skyline. So this is the poppies in question, and what you can see is it comes up, we've got the poppies, then we've got the sky above the red barn. And I love the tiering that we've got in this image. The three essential elements. We've got the red poppies, which really pop in the green behind them. Then we've got the red of the building and the odd little flower on the building wall just catching the sun now. And then we've also got the wispy blue of the sky. Lovely composition. And again, this is what I'm talking about when I'm talking about getting the images in context. This really gives a story rather than just a picture of a wildflower and just a picture of a poppy. Wow, I think we've got some great wildflower images here, really showing the context of the wildflowers in the context of the ruins themselves. I do hope that you've enjoyed this and found it inspirational. If so, please remember to hit that like and subscribe button. I'll definitely be back on this location at some point. Not sure when, but I will definitely be back at some point to capture some images just of the ruins as well. Please remember to like and subscribe to the channel and also check out these videos next. Thank you very much for your time in watching this video, and until next time, thank you and see you soon.